Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Rita Enon coming to you live from New York. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President Kashim Shettima stresses vital role of traditional institutions in national development. Governor Umar Eno inaugurates 10.4 kilometers Idoro Ukbom Abak Road project. Plus, Germany to tighten people smuggling law as Chancellor Merz visits the United Kingdom today. Details of this story in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned to Spectrum News at 10. Now we continue with the news stories. First in the news this morning is that Vice President Kashim Shettima has underscored the significance of traditional institutions in the country, saying that their roles in sustainable development cannot be sidelined in the scheme of things. Shettima spoke at the colloquium to mark the 10th anniversary of the leadership of Oba Alade Toyinbo Ogunlade, the Deji of Akure. Represented by his Special Advisor on Economic Affairs, Dr. Tokbe Fashwa, the Vice President explained that the traditional rulers, as custodians of the people's culture and traditions, are very important for national cohesion, adding that in building a nation for economic growth, the traditional rulers in the country must be strengthened to further promote development. Away from that, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, has promised to end Nigeria's dependence on imported fish by boosting local production. The minister made the promise at a high-level consultative meeting with fisheries cooperative groups in Abuja. He outlined the ministry's bold vision of transforming the nation's aquaculture sector into a powerhouse of food security, employment, and export competitiveness. The minister assured fellow Nigerians that the federal government remained committed to supporting the fisheries and the aquaculture subsectors through policy, technical support, and financial inclusion. In the meantime, the federal government has forecast potential flooding in 38 locations across some states of the Federation. It warned that heavy rainfall, which will pour up to Sunday, July 20th, 2025, could trigger flooding in some states. The alert signed by the director of the department, Usman Bokani, was issued by the Federal Ministry of Environment through the National Flood Early Warning Center under the Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department. States expected to be affected by the prediction include Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Borno, Bauchi, and Plateau. Others are Yobe, Katsina, Kano, Cross River, and Zamfara. Earlier, the federal government initiated the establishment of the National Flood Insurance Policy as a proactive measure to address Nigeria's growing vulnerability to flood disasters. Speaking during the opening of the Technical Committee meeting on the development of the National Flood Insurance Policy and Implementation Framework in Abuja in June, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Environment, Mahmoud Kambari, described the rising flood incidents across the country as a national emergency that demands immediate and decisive action. He said there is a need to transition from a reactive to a proactive and sustainable approach to flood risk management, and the National Flood Insurance Program is central to building long-term resilience. And from the legislature, Senate President Godswill Akpabio yesterday led a National Assembly delegation to Daura, Katsina State, for a condolence visit to Governor Diko Rada following the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Speaking during the visit, Senator Akpabio described the late president as a patriot, a man of integrity, and a shining light who served Nigeria both as a military leader and democratically elected president. The Senate president, who served as a minister under Buhari, said the late president's legacy is one defined by discipline, humility, and love for the country. He also highlighted his connection to Katsina State, recalling the establishment of the Faculty of Law at the Federal University Dosanma, which he insisted be named after Buhari rather than himself. In a separate development, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has criticized former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over the timing of his resignation from the People's Democratic Party (PDP), accusing him of attempting to divert national attention during a period of mourning. In a post on X, Keyamo condemned Atiku's decision to resign barely a day after the death of the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. The senior lawyer also raised legal and ethical concerns about Atiku's continued use of the Nigerian coat of arms in his private communications. He warned that such usage borders on impersonation, stressing his duty as a cabinet member and a member of the inner bar to protect Nigeria's law and its constitution. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno has inaugurated the 10.4 kilometers Idoro Upom Road project in fulfillment of his campaign promises to complete all projects inherited from the immediate past administration of Udom Emmanuel, and his resolve to ensure that quality infrastructures are put in place to open up rural communities and boost economic and agricultural activities in the state. Governor Eno, who spoke at the inauguration of the project, said though the project was very challenging, he was happy that it had been successfully completed. The governor, who commended the contractor and the state commissioner for works for a job well done, reiterated his promise to the people to connect the rural communities to the urban centers, just like he will keep connecting the center of Akwa Ibom to the center in Abuja. While commending President Bola Tinubu on his economic reforms in the state, Governor Eno said the project would not have been possible without the support of President Bola Tinubu, who has released funding to the state to enable government to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. The governor maintained that, having completed the political movement, his administration will continue to ensure that Akwa Ibom stands to benefit from the movement. He also used the occasion to announce plans of building youth-friendly centers. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that in their remarks, stakeholders from Uyo and Abak local government areas took turns to commend Governor Eno for his compassionate disposition. They assured the state leader of their unalloyed loyalty and support to his government. And now to Africa, where Mali's former Prime Minister, Moussa Mara, has been called in again for questioning by the country's Judicial Investigation Brigade. Mara had already undergone several hours of interrogation on Tuesday, but was allowed to return home. Mara, who resigned from his office in 2015, posted a message on social media in which he said he visited several political and civil society figures in prison, including journalist Raz Bath and social media influencer Rose Vieuchier. Reports say there has been no official statement on why Mara is being questioned, but his use of the term prisoners of conscience may have irked authorities with implication that their detention is politically motivated. Mali is ruled by a military junta that seized power in 2021. And on the foreign scene, Germany is set, including migration, business, and defense, which will be signed during Friedrich Meier's first official visit to the UK as German Chancellor today. Reports say the changes will make it illegal in Germany to facilitate illegal migration to the United Kingdom. And still on the foreign scene, United States Ambassador to Israel Mark Huckabee says he has asked Israeli authorities to aggressively investigate the killing of a Palestinian American in the occupied West Bank. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, Saif Salah Musalat, known as Saif, a 20-year-old dual U.S. citizen, was beaten to death by Israeli settlers in the town of Sinjar. After an initially muted U.S. reaction, Huckabee, a supporter of Israeli settlement in the Palestinian territories, described it as criminal and terrorist act. Meanwhile, in a press briefing, US President Donald Trump said a meeting on the killing will be held today. And still to come in the news, England and Real Madrid meet to miss start of season after surgery. Stay tuned for details in a moment.
Broadening your horizon is what every living being not only genuinely desires, but heartily pursues and intentionally invests in. For in the gathering of men, only those whose minds are in tune with the dynamics of the past, present, and future innovations, inventions, politics, and governance are respected. We are Spectrum Television, and broadening your horizon is our obsession. Risk on your decoder now to connect Spectrum Television on the frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. That is frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250, polarization horizontal, and join our online community at spectrumtvlive.ng. For further inquiries, please call 0704 158 5642 or 0704 541 7707. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.